right, 5.5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday morning. I think we saved the best for last, Robin. This next topic is so exciting for me. You used to be with the Florida Motion Picture, what was it called again?
The Florida Motion Picture and Television Association and the Film Commission of Rio, Florida.
Right. And so by kind of hanging out with you, I got to see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. And I think the one that was so cool was everything that happens before a film is made. The storyboards are kind of where I was going with this, because our next guest has done storyboards. And I always thought, they don't get used? You mean it's just on the wall? They don't. What happens to these? These are collector's items, I would think. Robert Castillo is an award-winning director, animator, illustrator, storyboard artist. He created the storyboards for, listen to this, The Sopranos, Precious, Everyone's Hero, The Cookout, Perfect Holiday. It goes on and on and on. He created music videos for Alicia Keys, Ja Rule, Kid Rock. I actually know some of these names.
You're a music guy. You know
He's worked with ESPN, MTV. It goes on and on and on. Court TV even uses artwork. Who knew?
Yeah.
And anyway, he's a volunteer with the Ghetto Film School, Mount Sinai Hospital. Really, that's where I was born, Mount Sinai.
Ooh.
There's probably 100 Mount Sinai. The Automotive High School in Brooklyn.
Yes.
And he's going to tell us how to break into the professional illustrators world. If you're an artist and you'd like to do this for a living, there's a contest, and I don't think you have to pay, which is always to me a red flag. How do you know it's legit? You know, you know. So Robert Castillo, good morning, Robert. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
You got a New York accent. Where are you?
I'm in New Jersey, Jersey City.
Oh, it's a Jersey accent. I can't tell the difference. I can't tell.
Jersey City. I got a brother out there in Miami, so I hope he's listening this morning. I called him up.
Oh, nice.
I got a brother. See,
I think I got a brother in every state. I got five. There's 6 of us.
Okay.
Six. And he does music, and I'm the artist.
Nice.
We got another one who's an actor here in New York. I mean, I got brothers. I got a lot of brothers.
Wow. When you've looked at the finished film after you've done the storyboard, do you realize that you created that? Like they kind of copied you? Like you took the words from the book, or the book, or the, what do you call it, the screenplay? Yeah.
It's a little bittersweet sometimes, because you're behind the scenes and you're like a ghost writer, and a lot of the shots that I do, I see them, and it feels great though. I feel good. I'm like, wow, look at that! I came up with that shot, and there it is, and right away. I've seen commercials that I forget about, and they seem familiar, and I go, oh, wait a second, I storyboarded that. So,
so how does that work? I mean, am I right about this? You take the writing, the script, and then in your mind you see it, and then with your art skills you create it.
That's it. Yeah, it's like doing a comic book, but in a lesser detailed way. And basically you got to have kind of like a film language. So the director will tell you. A lot of times the director will tell you what he wants. He said, "Okay, give me a close up here," or she runs out the house. We got to see her running, or if there's a car chase. So important shots a lot of times have to be drawn out. Because you have to figure out so they don't waste money.
Wow.
Because it takes a lot of money just to get those shots.
I went to your website. Puppies invade our apartment. Now, what is that? That's just your puppies? That's a cute video. Robert, look at this video.
I had some dogs a long time ago. But I got a lot of stuff up there. I got some storyboard comparisons, like some comparisons with other shows that I've done. But no, it's great. I've been drawing since I was a kid. I mean, this is something I used to get in trouble for in high school.
I want to know about you. So let's can we do a little bio, kind of an interview, and then we'll talk about that contest. So where did you grow up? Where are you from?
Okay, I was born in New York in 1970, and the story goes, I got kind of sick. I went to the Dominican Republic. I was in Santo Domingo for 7 years. So I was raised with my grandmother and my uncle. So in 1977, they told me, hey, buddy, you're going to meet your parents and we're going to America. So I said, wait a second, you guys are not my parents? I'm going to America? What's America? They threw me on a plane. I ended up in New York, and I saw snow for the first time in 1977. And I said, what in the world is this? So it was culture shock. And I didn't speak English. So I had to learn how to speak the language.
Well, at least you learned it in the right place. That's what I say.
Yeah, I sure did. You pick it up pretty quick in New York. You have no choice. It's survival. It's like you have no choice but to survive.
So I'm going to be a little bit of a Barbara Walters on you right here, because this sounds like an emotional thing. So you're in a place you don't speak the language. You're with two people who are your mom and dad. And you didn't know they were your mom and dad.
Exactly.
So and you were 7. So that's old enough to be emotionally affected by this.
It was, and I met my brother Brian at that time, and he wouldn't let me play with his toys, and we had a lot of fights. And I was like, who is this guy?
He's the musician?
So, no, he's actually an air condition repair guy. He's the one that came out closest, like my dad, because my dad's an engineer. Everybody else is artistic, and he's the technical guy.
Okay.
But then we went to Massachusetts, and that's when it really got rough, because I ended up in Boston, in Chelsea, Mass, near East Boston in the 80s, and there was a lot of racism there, and we went through a lot of bad things. We got jumped by a lot of kids, and it was just a rough time over there in Chelsea, Mass.
Okay.
But I was still doing my art, so art, in a way, has always saved my life, because I was always drawing, and I made friends like that. I was always sketching and drawing. I was the kid that could draw, so it really helped me out get through the bullying, which is something a lot of kids are going through in this country now. I mean, bullying was something that it was terrible, but I could always escape with my art.
That is terrible,
And
so a kid with art skills speaks to the what do you call the person in the school, the guidance counselor, and the guidance counselor normally says, you got to get into advertising, but you didn't. You got into movies somehow. How did that happen?
It's crazy. I was here in New York, and I came down around. It was back. It was 2001, before September 11th, and I decided to come to New York and pursue art school here and learn animation and stuff. And then September happened, a lot of things changed, and, I wasn't making a lot of money, so I started doing storyboards for students, which is crazy because I was studying computer animation, but a lot of students didn't even draw, so they're doing animation, but they couldn't even draw. They hired me. They're like, hey, I'll give you $100 if you could draw some of the shots that I need to do for my animation. So I started doing it like that, and then it led to other little jobs, but then one day I went to the set of a Spike Lee movie called The 25th Hour with Ed Norton, and I was out there with all my drawings and my paper, and I was trying to get Spike Lee to see my work. I couldn't get to him, but I ended up meeting a woman there who did music videos, and she said, wow, you got some good work, and that's where I got started.
Wow.
How wonderful.
So I was chasing it.
were you like an independent contractor, or did you actually get hired by a company?
I've been independent for years. It's like I haven't had a real job in like 12 years. I work for myself. It's me. It's Robert Castillo storyboards, and I've been freelancing for such a long time, and I've been out there just promoting myself and hustling and passing out cards. For example, just recently I did a fundraiser. John Starks, a basketball player, had a fundraiser, and I did a drawing of all the celebrities. They signed it, and it sold for $4,000. So they had an auction 2 days ago. It sold for $4,000, and I gave it to scholarship. I gave it to John Starks Scholarship for Kids, because I believe in giving back. It's like karma with me. I give back, and it comes back, but I also meet people. So it's a good way to meet people and get your name out there by doing a good thing.
Wow, you've already endeared us to you with just that little bit that we heard. Your talent speaks for itself. I went to the blog page that you have, and I saw the little puppy video too. Even that said, but even the fact that you posted that says something about you, Robert.
No, I love dogs. I got 2 dogs here.
I love dogs. You go back and forth. You go back and forth from the Hispanic accent to the New York accent. By the way, I don't know if anybody's ever.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. It's funny. I speak more English than Spanish, but I can express myself a lot better in English. It's so weird. You know what I'm saying?
Robert Castillo is our guest, and we need to take a little break, and then we'll be back. I'm just loving this. I'm so glad we scheduled you for this longer interview. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm this afternoon. Otherwise, mainly cloudy today, high 83 to 86. A shower or thunderstorm around this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies tonight, low 69 to 73. And tomorrow we'll have variable clouds with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. High 83 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Stephanie Omo.
This weather brought to you by A&A Lockdock. Did you know that most break-ins happen during bad weather because it masks the sound? Don't be another victim. Protect your home and business today. Call A&A Lockdock, 352-867-1965. That's 352-867-1965.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
If you make it past year 7, odds are very high you'll probably stay together forever. Couples are usually into a groove and know what their lives together will be like as they move forward. A sugar-packed diet will destroy the collagen and elastin in your skin. That leads to wrinkles. Taking a vacation from our social networking sites is just as important as taking a vacation from our jobs.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little retool.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire. Because that's how exotic it is.
WWWOCA,
We are The Source, WOCA.
All right, 18 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday morning. Robert Castillo is on the phone. He is an amazing guy. I'll start with that. And then an amazing artist. His blogs page I was just talking about before we went to the break, Robert Castillo storyboards.blogspot.com, and you can see some of his work, and you can see the puppy video that I was just talking about. And some of his, let me just give some of his honors. He, let's see, he graduated with honors from the Art Institute of Boston, has a master's degree in computer arts from the School of Visual Arts. As a storyboard artist, he's created boards including Precious. Well, I went through the movies before we went on. And you directed? Is this right? You directed?
Yeah, I did a short film in 2004 for my thesis, and it ended up winning the Student Academy Award. So I ended up going to California and meeting the Academy members.
Wow.
The Academy Awards have their own awards for student films, and it's funny because when I did the short, a lot of teachers and even people didn't believe it could be a short film. It's basically me drawing and narrating. So you see my hand drawing and narrating, but I actually tell stories about some of the stuff I went through as a kid. So that story I told you guys about coming in 1977 is one of the ones that I illustrate and narrate to, and it's sped up. It's like stop motion with drawing, and it's kind of funny because now all over the world people are drawing and very fast. So I'm not saying I started that, but it's funny. I did that in 2004.
You probably, I think people do. I think sometimes people do things and they don't realize that other people actually were inspired by them. So
I know, it's crazy. So it's all over. I see commercials. People call me like, "Hey, they did your style on TV," and I'm like, "Wow." But it's okay. At least I did something.
Well, let me ask you this, because I do think you're a leader in this, and maybe you won't get credit for that as far as starting it. But when you were young, you never mentioned that there was somebody who you saw doing this and you said, "Oh, I want to do what he's doing." But I'm guessing that now there are young artists who say, "I want to do what Robert Castillo does."
Yeah, I mean, I get emails a lot of times, and I get I get people that contact me, students that have seen my short around, and they ask me about doing storyboards, or they ask me how they get into the business, and I'm always open. I give advice. I met with people. I mean, I love, showing them and telling them how to do it, how to get out there and do it. It's very competitive, but, if you keep at it and stay positive, and you have a good attitude. You need to have a good attitude. You really got to be ready to work no matter what the other person's attitude is.
Right.
I mean, I've gone on movie sets where everybody's freaking out, and I'm like the happiest guy there, and they think I'm on drugs or something. I'm smiling, and I'm happy to be there, and the movie's like sinking, but I'm believing it could be a good movie, and the director's like, almost crying, like, well, I wish everybody had your attitude. But it's like you have to have a good attitude.
Yeah, sure.
And give your best. I give my best every job. I don't care if it's a small job or a big movie or a TV show.
Wow, good for you. Yeah.
Oh, we had your publicist had sent us a still of you as being a presenter at the awards ceremony.
Illustrators. Oh man, they've been like a family to me. I mean, I'm going to jump on that. I entered the contest like years ago, like 2008, and I saw it. I saw there were, at first I didn't believe it. It was like free. You could enter 3 drawings. They have quotas where they pick the winners, and then they send you a story, a science fiction story by one of the writer winners, and then you do the drawing, and they fly you to California. So if you're one of the winners, they fly you to LA, and then they have an event that happens where the winner of the big prize gets $5,000. For the quarterly winners, you get $500, and they fly you out. I said, wow. And then I saw who some of the judges were. We're talking Jack Kirby, Frank Frazetta, some of the guys I worshipped as a kid. So I said, this got to be too good to be true, but it's real. And I ended up, winning one of the quarters. They flew me out there. I met these people, and I just fell in love with the whole thing, and I've been part of it. And it's funny because a few years later, they called me and say, hey, would you like to be a judge? And I thought I won the lottery. I said, of course. I love to be a judge. But then I was like, I'm not worthy, because it's like some of the biggest names in the world were judges. And I was like so humbled, like, wow, I am a judge. I look at all this talent coming in, and I get to judge. So it's been great because I'm mentoring all these new talent.
That is cool. That is cool. I hinted at this in the intro, Robert, that I'm always skeptical of contests that charge. I'm not saying they're all no good, but I just don't know. Like, there's a couple of music contests or writers contests.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to pay $50. Oh, but you could do a second one for $45. Oh, come on!
Yeah,
a starving artist is going to be able to send in one if he can.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And a true starving artist can't get one in there, and he might be the best artist around. So I love the fact that this one is free.
This is great. This is free. This is open. Something that started by L. Ron Hubbard back in 83. In 88 and 83, the writers one was started, and it's just to bring talent together, and there's something that's missing. There's not a lot of mentorship out there today. I even gone up to some artists that I admire in like conventions and stuff. A lot of people are not willing to share their secrets with you or how to do certain things. The world has changed. That's over. That mentorship thing is, but it's like it's necessary. I try to do it. I'm open to anybody that asks me, how do you do this? That's why I volunteer and I lecture. And, what we do for the week at this contest is I'm there with some other great illustrators, and we give workshops, and we show people the tips and tricks and also the business side of illustration. So it's like a boot camp all week for illustrators to get out there, because it's something that's like so hard to do. So many people are trying.
So what are you working on right now? What kind of project can you tell us about?
Well, I just finished doing storyboard. I actually stayed up till 4 a.m, so I'm kind of hurting this morning.
Oh no!
But I was working on a project it's a cooking show coming up for the Food Network with Tiffany Tyson, I think.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and she's doing this thing called dinner at. They should pay me. I'm plugging her show. Dinner at Tiffany's, dinner at Tiffany's, and the day before that, I did another show for VH1 called Hindsight. It's funny. I do so many things sometimes. I don't even remember what's going on. I know, it's kind of sad about Robin Williams, just to throw that out. I got to work on one of his last films called The Angriest Man in Brooklyn. Worked on that. I didn't get to meet him. I wish I did.
Yeah, I saw the storyboard of him, the picture you did of him at the steering wheel. Yeah.
I know, it's ironic. I put it out there. People are like, wow, he looks so sad. It's like so weird.
Yeah, really. You must have had maybe some insight.
It's crazy. But yeah, that movie was weird anyway because it's about a guy who tries to jump off a bridge, Oh, so
wow.
It's a weird storyline, It's like art imitating life. But it's awesome because I get to work on projects all the time, and I don't know what's coming. You never know what's around the corner. It's so amazing and exciting to do what I do because, it could be a movie next week. It could be a TV show. So there's a lot of things that I work on.
Some of the artwork that is on your Blogspot look more detailed, I guess is the best way to answer that. Do some directors want more than...
Sometimes... Yeah, that's like my trademark. I try to make it detailed, but you don't have to make it that detailed. But a lot of times they try to sell the idea. So it's crazy because I've been doing storyboards for reality shows.
Wow.
A lot of them. And it's funny. It's like scripted. It's scripted reality because they're...
Is it really?
It's what it
naked
is, man.
people.
But they're trying to sell it. So
Scared of Naked? Did you do Scared of Naked? What is that one
that's
called?
Crazy. I mean, what's next? Now they're doing a lot of like hillbilly things, like hunting shows, and I mean, what's next? Like hillbilly football? I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, well, I've wondered when I've seen some, and I haven't watched many of them. But how do they know to move the camera exactly when the person speaks?
I know, man. It's funny. I've done storyboards for that, and when I was first doing it, I was confused. Like, why would they need storyboards? But sometimes they need to sell it also. So they'll take my drawings and they'll pitch the show so that they can either get more money or everyone knows what's going to happen.
So how many storyboards typically are in a feature-length film?
Oh, a feature, if I do the whole movie, we're talking something like 350 storyboards.
Wow.
A whole month of work,
Wow.
every week. If I do a music video, we're talking 15 to 20 boards. Sometimes with movies, they just want to do a scene. Sometimes to save money, they say, "Listen, we just want to do the action scene or this scene here where there's a fight or whatever." But sometimes you do the whole movie. Like with Precious, I did the whole movie, storyboarded the whole movie. It was great because that movie ended up going to the Academy Awards. It was like for Best Picture next to Avatar. I feel bad because I was kind of rooting for Avatar, but then I worked on Precious.
Robert, I have enjoyed speaking to you so much.
Thank you.
If there was a way that we could go back in time to when you were just a little boy feeling bullied, the part of the story you told us right there, I mean, I wish I could go back in time and whisper in your ear, "Don't worry, it's going to be okay."
Yeah.
You got a great future ahead of you, and maybe that's kind of the hope you're giving to children right now. Not children, but like teens.
That's the message I try to put out there, that there's kids out there listening. If you like to draw or you like music, follow your heart, follow your dream. You know what I'm saying? Follow your heart.
We did touch on the contest, the Illustrators of the Future.
I'll give you the website. They can go to writersofthefuture.com.
Writers
of the Future or illustratorsofthefuture.com.
Okay.
And they can get all the information to enter the contest. So if there's anyone out there that are drawing or painting and they want to enter this contest, I would say enter it. Go for it. 3 drawings, put it in, send it in, and go for it. You never know what can happen. You can end up winning the $5,000.
Absolutely. Robert, such a great conversation. Thank you so much for being on the air with us. Go to Robert's blog page, Robert Castillo Storyboards.blogspot.com, and you will be amazed.
So much.
And inspired.
So
Thank you, Robert.
I'm going to try to draw you. I'm going to try to do a caricature of you guys.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no. All right.
A photo of you guys. I'm going to draw you. I'm going to send it to you. So look out for that. I'm going to send it through the email there.
Oh, that's awesome. Robert, that's very sweet of you. Thank you so much for being on the air with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'll take a little break. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. France becomes the first country to officially join the U.S. in launching attacks against ISIS militants.